In the quiet town of Milford, nestled along the winding roads of rural Ohio, life moved at a gentle rhythm. The sun rose slow over the cornfields, painting the sky in soft pinks and oranges. Sarah Johnson woke each morning to the sound of birds chirping outside her small apartment window. She was 32, with tired eyes that still held a spark of kindness. Her days blended into one another, filled with the hum of fluorescent lights and the clink of coffee cups at Diner Delight, the local branch of a nationwide chain where she worked as a waitress. Sarah's apartment was modest, a one-bedroom place above a hardware store. The walls were thin, and the floor creaked under her feet as she got ready for her shift. She slipped into her uniform, a simple blue dress with the Diner Delight logo embroidered on the pocket. It was faded from too many washes, but she ironed it carefully each time. Mornings were her quiet time. She brewed a pot of coffee, strong and black, and sat by the window, watching the world wake up. The steam rose lazily from her mug, carrying the rich aroma that reminded her of simpler days. Down the street, Diner Delight opened its doors at 6 sharp. The sign outside flickered a little, but the place was welcoming, with red vinyl booths and checkered tablecloths. Trucks pulled up early, drivers in flannel shirts ordering eggs and bacon. Sarah greeted them with a warm smile, her voice soft and steady. "Morning, folks. Coffee to start?" She'd pour it hot, listening to their stories of the road or the farm. It was honest work, but it wore on her. Her feet ached by noon, and her back protested the long hours. Still, she pushed through, because bills didn't pay themselves. Sarah's life wasn't easy. She was a single mom to little Emma, who was 7 and full of energy. Emma's father had left years ago, chasing dreams in the city that never panned out. Sarah worked double shifts to keep food on the table and clothes on Emma's back. Rent was due every first of the month, and the electric bill seemed to climb higher each season. She skimped on her own meals sometimes, saving the best for her daughter. At night, after tucking Emma in, Sarah would count her tips, a crumpled dollars and loose change in the dim light of the kitchen. It was never quite enough. She dreamed of something better, maybe a promotion or a little house with a yard, but dreams felt far away in Milford. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Sarah decided to unwind. Her shift had ended late, the diner buzzing with the dinner crowd. Emma was at a neighbor's for the night, so Sarah walked to O'Malley's, the old bar on the edge of town. It wasn't fancy, just wooden stools, a jukebox in the corner playing country tunes, and dim lights that cast long shadows. The air smelled of beer and peanuts. She didn't go often, but tonight, she needed a break. She ordered a ginger ale, sipping it slowly at the end of the bar, letting the fizz tickle her throat. The bar was half full, locals chatting about the weather and the upcoming harvest. Sarah watched them quietly, her mind drifting to Emma's school projects and the leak in her apartment roof. That's when trouble stirred. 2 men at a table nearby started arguing. One was burly, with a beard and a loud voice, complaining about a bad deal on some equipment. The other was smaller, dressed in a neat button-down shirt that looked out of place. He tried to calm things down, his words measured and polite, but the burly man wasn't having it. Voices rose, chairs scraped back. Sarah felt a knot in her stomach. Fights weren't common here, but when they happened, they escalated fast. The burly man stood, fists clenched, shoving the smaller one against the wall. Glasses shattered on the floor. The bartender yelled for them to stop, but no one moved. Sarah's heart pounded. She couldn't just sit there. Without thinking, she slid off her stool and stepped between them. "Hey, easy now," she said, her voice calm but firm, like she was breaking up a squabble between kids at the diner. "No need for this. Let's all take a breath." The burly man glared at her, his face red. "Mind your own business, lady." But Sarah didn't back down. She looked him in the eye, her hands raised gently. "Come on, it's not worth it. Buy him a drink instead, or walk away. We've all had rough days." Something in her tone, steady, without judgment, seemed to reach him. He muttered a curse, shook his head, and stormed out the door, slamming it behind him. The smaller man straightened his shirt, breathing heavy. He was in his 50s, with salt and pepper hair and kind eyes behind glasses. "Thank you," he said, his voice a bit shaky. "That could have gone bad." Sarah nodded, picking up a fallen napkin from the floor. "No problem. Glad it's over." They chatted briefly. He introduced himself as Mike, just passing through town on business. She told him her name, mentioned the diner. He bought her another ginger ale as thanks, and they talked about the town, the weather, simple things. He seemed nice, unassuming. After a while, he excused himself, saying he had an early morning. Sarah watched him leave, then finished her drink and headed home, the incident fading like a brief storm. The next day dawned clear and crisp. Sarah arrived at Diner Delight early, tying her apron as the manager, Mr. Wilkins, bustled about. "Big day today," he said, unusually excited. "Corporate's sending someone important. The CEO himself is visiting branches." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Really? What's the occasion?" Mr. Wilkins shrugged. "Inspection, I guess. Make sure everything's tip-top." The morning passed in a blur of orders and refills. Around noon, a sleek black car pulled up outside. Out stepped a man in a tailored suit. "Mike." From the bar. Sarah froze behind the counter, her coffee pot mid-pour. He walked in, scanning the place with a professional eye, then spotted her. A smile broke across his face. "Sarah," he said warmly, "didn't expect to see you here." Mr. Wilkins hurried over. "Mr. Thompson, welcome to Diner Delight Milford. This is our waitress, Sarah Johnson." Michael Thompson, CEO of the entire chain, nodded. "We've met, actually. Sarah here saved me from a bit of trouble last night at O'Malley's." The manager's eyes widened. Sarah felt her cheeks flush. "It was nothing," she murmured. Michael asked for a table, and Sarah served him personally. As she poured his coffee, he leaned in. "I meant what I said last night." "Thank you." Not many would step in like that. They talked more as he towed a simple burger and fries. He asked about her work, her life. Sarah opened up a little, mentioning the long hours, Emma, the struggles. He listened intently, nodding thoughtfully. After his meal, Michael pulled Mr. Wilkins aside for a private chat. Sarah busied herself wiping counters, her mind racing. Had she said too much? But when Michael returned, he approached her with a gentle smile. "Sarah, I'd like to talk to you about something." They sat in a quiet booth. He explained who he was, fully the head of Diner Delight, overseeing hundreds of locations. "I travel incognito sometimes," he said. "Helps me see the real side of things." Sarah's heart skipped. "I had no idea." He chuckled softly. "That's the point. But last night, you showed real courage. And from what I've seen today, you're dedicated. We need more like you." He paused, letting the words sink in. "I'm promoting you to assistant manager, effective next week. Better pay, better hours, and there's a scholarship fund for employees' kids. Emma qualifies." Tears welled in Sarah's eyes. It was more than she could have hoped. "Why me?" she whispered. Michael leaned back, his expression sincere. "Because you care. About people, about doing right. That's what this chain was built on, back when my father started it. You've reminded me of that." The rest of the day felt like a dream. Mr. Wilkins congratulated her. The staff clapped. Sarah floated through her shift, the weight on her shoulders lifting just a bit. That evening, she picked up Emma, hugging her tight. "Things are looking up, sweetie," she said, her voice steady with new hope. Weeks turned into months. Sarah settled into her new role, training staff with the same kindness she'd always shown customers. The extra money meant fixing the roof, buying Emma new shoes, even saving a little. Michael visited again, this time openly, sharing stories over coffee. They became friends of sorts, bonded by that fateful night. In Milford, life continued its gentle pace. The sun set slow over the fields, casting golden light on the diner. Sarah stood by the window one evening, watching Emma play outside. She thought back to the bar, the fight, the unexpected twist. It wasn't luck, it was kindness coming full circle. And in that quiet moment, she felt truly at peace, knowing tomorrow held promise.